Hello and welcome once again for those who are joining us for a second time. Let's have some music. And this time this is going to work. Let's do this one. This bit is the easy part, and the Twitter should work as well now. I believe I have fixed it. Let's find out. There you go. That's working. Soon this will be a single button kind of deal. I have to be even quicker joining the streams. So, let's take down the music. And welcome to another project review with me, Daniel Tenner, aka Swombat, where I'm going to take this project that was submitted on my Discord and do my best to figure out, to share my thinking as I try to evaluate it. Let's try to figure out what's valuable about it, what's not. This one doesn't come with, they actually figured out afterwards that there was actually an NFT already available, but it's a project that's definitely to do with NFTs and it's not quite the traditional project. It doesn't have the traditional website, at least as far as I was aware. But there are some posts about it here that outline what the project is, and we can review that. That's better than a website in many ways. There's a kind of concept in startups as well that there's this idea of the concierge MVP. MVP stands for minimum viable product. And thanks, Dominic. And basically an MVP doesn't have to have all the stuff that people expect from a business that's already functioning. Like, for example, you could have a matching service, and maybe later on, to be scalable, you need the matching service to be done automatically by AI, but initially you might be doing it manually to prove the model and to figure out what works. And similarly, you don't need to have a website, but you do need to have some information about the project, probably. So I found out that there is an introduction here. I like the fact that building in public sounds like music to my ears. So back in January this year, metaverse. Oh, maybe there is already. Is there? No, that's an Instagram. Good God. They've got an Instagram. Anyway, one of the most influential and prominent voices and communities in Web3, onboarding millions of people into the new paradigm of web. I wasn't aware we had millions of people in here, but that's news to me. This is a bit of a grand claim there up front, but then Metaverse is building media, technology, and creative arms with the intent of building the great platforms, IP franchises, content networks, and creative studios in Web3. Those are some big statements, which... Apologies, my cats are a little bit spooked. There's some builders outside that scared them. Anyway, so if I turn around, it's because I'm looking to see why the cat is making this noise. Those are some big statements. I'm not so keen on those. I prefer something that's a bit more down to earth. Gives me a kind of corporate speak vibe, this paragraph there. But let's keep looking with an open mind. MV3 is the first NFT collection. Actually, first of all, before I go this, I forgot about my disclaimer. Disclaimer, this is a cold review. I don't know anything about this project. I don't know whether it's good or not. I have not really researched it. I'm approaching it cold, and the point of these reviews is to get my thinking about the project rather than to get a thumbs up or thumbs down on the project. I'm probably I will certainly be missing a lot of information in this review, and you might decide that you might have that information. Maybe it's on Discord, maybe it's available if you just chat to the founders. So don't make a decision to buy or sell any of these just because of what I'm doing here. The idea is to learn how to think about the projects and to learn from my way of thinking, which is not necessarily the right way of thinking about the projects, but is a relatively systematic way of thinking about the project that maybe you can learn some tools that you can use when you're evaluating projects. That's the point of this, not to give a thumbs up. It's not a fair review. So I might be unfair in things that I say, but I'm reacting to the information that's presented to me. So with that's out of the way, now I've remembered, MV3 is the first NFT collection birthed from the metaverse ecosystem. We have conceptualized it as a concept. So that's some writing. We call storytelling game theory, an interactive experience for NFT holders that will allow them to become a part of the story while creating a cinematic universe rich with characters and storylines. I mean, I read a paragraph like this again. This is like, using a lot of words to say something that should probably be said in much fewer words. I'm not keen on that. Like when you make me work to decrypt what you're trying to say, I assume that you're probably hiding something or you don't know how to communicate. And for somebody who's building media, technology, and creative arms with the intent of building great platforms, IP franchises, content networks, and creative studios in Web3, well, you should damn well know how to communicate, and that means communicate clearly, not with like lots of verbosity like this. Say, like, if you can't explain it clearly, you don't know what you're talking about, is one of my perspectives. And this is not a clear explanation of whatever the hell this is. Conceptualize as a concept, storytelling, game theory. Like, come on. Owning a metaverse access pass, more information below, is the only way you'll be able to mint an MV3 character, which will include strong utility. Well, when people say strong utility, I see this almost as a red flag, just the fact that they mention strong utility, if they don't immediately list the utility and they don't say what the utility is. So it's just like, we're the best candidates, you should vote for us. That's not a pitch. That's just the statement of Europe, that, like, as that screenshot, that GIF in my threads yesterday or the day before, like, from the Big Lebowski. That's just like your opinion, man. Until you tell me some evidence for why this is a strong utility, I don't believe you, because everybody knows that they're supposed to have utility. So they say that they have utility. That doesn't mean they actually have utility. So this MV3 character, which will allegedly include strong utility and maybe serve as your access token to the metaverse ecosystem being built over the next several years. Okay, so they have a long time horizon, or they claim to have. MV3 will be launching in the summer of 2022. Detailed information will start being released in February and March. Updates will be released on the official Twitter and Instagram. Let's have a look at the official Twitter, which I should have tagged, but I didn't realize it even existed. There's some spaces and stuff, and some renderings that look kind of cool. Okay, but like, that's empaths, elite, like some kind of gaming type thing, whatever. Kind of reminds me of Neo Tokyo, actually. Let's continue reading. I note that in this thing, I've read a few paragraphs already. I still don't really know what the hell they're talking about. Some kind of game, I guess, some kind of metaverse game or something like that. They assume that somehow we'll know or we'll buy into the hype. This is hype, despite being a black and white website. At the moment, this is just hype. It's just promise of some kind of grandiose future with great platforms and IP franchises and stuff like that. Roberto is an entrepreneur and product designer, or at least they're doxed. That's a good thing. I mean, I assume they're doxed. Before you can know that they're doxed, you need to do a bit more research about the people to check that do they actually have a history, or is it just a name that they put on a thing. The metaverse, 67k followers. Joined 2000. Okay, since he joined in 2008, we can assume that probably this is his long-term profile. And well, I'm glad that he also sees that Zagabond is not ideal. Anyway, so over a decade of experience conceptualizing, building, and deploying and scaling digital products. Blah 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 blah. A digital product studio. Okay, so he ran a kind of creative, like a digital agency. There's a lot of, it's worth noting, a lot of people who, I worked with a lot of digital agencies over the years at Grantry, because a lot of them do R&D in-house, and they all struggle to make the switch to building. A lot of them want to become product startups, but they struggle to make the switch because the kind of tension between services and products is really hard to manage. 21-year-old photographer, growth hacker, blah, blah, blah. Okay, chief creative officer. Okay, but so you have a bunch of people, great. So we'll be releasing the access pass as a way to initially fund the community treasury and providing us with the resources to aggressively pursue our ambitious plans. Again, this is very, very flourished, over-decorated writing. providing us with the resource to aggressively pursue our ambitious plans. Like, providing us with the resource to pursue our plans. Like, just say it plainly. Adding more adjectives to make it sound more grandiose doesn't make it more grandiose. It just makes it sound like you're just using lots of adjectives. Yeah, I mean, give us money to make something. You laugh at that, but like, there's a great value in plain language, and I would encourage people to learn to use that rather than like, try to get like, it's like the if you watched Game of Thrones, hopefully, except for season 8, you might remember the scene where Tywin Lannister explains to his son that if you need to say that you're the king, then you're not the king. Then you don't actually have the power. If you need to say that you're going to aggressively pursue your ambitious plans, it means that both of those things are in doubt, and you feel insecure about them, and you need to kind of emphasize them, or either that, or you don't know how to communicate clearly, which is also not great. Large majority of funds will be reinvested back into the community. What does that mean, back into the community? This announcement and outline, as well as the official website, art reveals and other details, will be released sometime in March or April. Obviously not released yet, because I don't think there is an official website yet, as far as I know. Otherwise, hopefully the person would have passed me that website who submitted this for review. To reserve the ability to... Yeah, you still haven't told me what the utility is. Okay, there's a bunch of tiers and stuff like that you can buy. Yeah, okay, I know what you want to buy there. There will be utility assigned to the access passes beyond the ability to mint an MV3 NFT. Well, what is that? What is the utility? Like, you still haven't told me anything about the utility. Okay, there's been nothing about the utility of this in this blog post. Community first, the great utility unlock for MV3. Okay, so maybe here. Although community first doesn't give me the best vibes in terms of like real utility. We want to be transparent in our approach to utility. Well, thank fuck. Like, why would you hide your utility? How will we, like, okay, no, let's read through this. We're creating a cinematic universe rich with characters and storylines, blah, blah. Okay, so that's the whole brand, culture, play and stuff, which I think, my sense is that meta is about to die by, like, literally smashing into a windshield like a mosquito. But, maybe I'm being a bit overly harsh there, but this crypto winter is going to really put some, like, give a cold shower to this meta, I think. What if NFTs were around when young? I mean, yes, the artist launchpad as a model, I think, makes a lot of sense, but that's focused around an artist, not around a whole group of people who are, like, trying to build something grandiose and stuff like that. You want direct connection to the artist. That's a thing that NFTs enable that previous models haven't enabled, where, like, a really cool artist can really engage with their fans and build a community of fans around them. And as they become bigger, people who supported them early on get rewarded for that support. That's great. That's not what's happening here. Strong utility again. Community first, right? We own our own distribution engine, which happens to be the most engaged social platform of any Web3 brand. That was a Freudian slip. Right, so the Instagram followers. Okay, great. Rainbow is flooded with prominent brand companies and artists wanting to get in front of our audience. Okay, I mean, that I agree with that. So something to do with partnerships is going to be linked to the utility of the MV3 NFT. Maybe that could be worthwhile. I'm thinking now of Lazy Lions and the fact that they had this incredible marketing machine and they didn't use it to promote the lion holders at all. Let's say a large company makes they might pay us $100K. Campaign is a big winner. Metaverse is a winner. Community is the lowest tier in this equation. Okay, no, so like, what's the community first approach? We allows them to give $100K worth of wallets to our token holders. Okay. Right, so the utility is they're going to turn their partnerships into, like, giveaways that people will be able to get in exchange. So they're turning the income that they're making from their Instagram accounts into, like, things that people will receive for owning the NFT. Whether that matches the price of the NFT is up for grabs, and it's kind of like you're sort of buying into sort of like randomized products airdrop to your mailbox, I guess. I mean, there is value in that. I do recognize the value. Like, do you really want to have, like, if somebody does a hardware wallet, some random hardware wallet appear on your doorstep? I don't know. Like, it's not the most obvious thing to me, but it's worth trying. At least that does seem like value. Doesn't seem like value that I want to buy, but there are people who do, like, it's kind of like you're buying into a sort of mystery box process where you're going to just get a random product delivered to you every once in a while, whenever they would have done, or whenever they do a partnership in this way. Maybe that works. I'd want to know more, like, if that's the case, I'd want to know more about the real numbers behind this Instagram account and stuff, because like my experience of Instagram and NFTs is basically scams. So I'm not sure if I'm not saying this account is, I don't know anything, but it's not like, it's okay, I suppose. This is about the war in Ukraine. Building in public part 2, our journey begins. The story, factions, elites, empaths, blah blah blah, because it's just lore and stuff. Minting website. The official website will be revealed in early May. Still not today, I suppose. It will be used to build the metaverse and MV3 ecosystem. Still nothing about the utility of the MV3 token, the avatars. I mean, cool, they're getting active, they're doing stuff, but it's not clear why what they're building is worth building. And then the next post is just MV3 sales bot. Okay, so there's not a lot to there's not a lot to judge here. It's actually very slim on detail, this website, despite all the words. I'm not yeah, I mean, it feels like I'm acting based on relatively limited information. I wonder if there's a Discord link somewhere that I can. No, that's just the same. Oh no, here we go. Metaverse. Oh, there is a website. Okay. Oh, probably up to something. But let's have a look. Oh, it's invite only Discord. So we can't even join the Discord to find out about it. Maybe there's something on the Discord, but it's not available to me as an external. Is there somebody looking at this? I did see there was some kind of Instagram, the OpenSea link somewhere. I think on the sales bot there. And somehow these things, of which there are 2,000 or so, are trading at about one ETH floor price in this market. That's not too bad. And they're just, identical passes. They're just mint passes, basically. The key to a Luna City. One character, see you in 2081. Yeah, I mean, you might have to wait that long before the metaverse thing, the VR metaverse, becomes real. So at least this bit I can buy into. So if this project is still around in 2081, it might be worth a lot at that point. Being a bit sarcastic here, right? So it feels like I'm judging based on relatively little information, but that's the information that they've provided us. So I can't squeeze more information out of that. I mean, if I look at their Instagram account as well, actually, it's none of it is stuff about this MV3 pass. It's all stuff, it's all promotions about other people and stuff. So, like, yeah, there's nothing about MV3 here. So I'm not going to get any more information from this. This is just their marketing thing that creates revenues. That's sort of is loosely linked to that utility, or tightly linked to that utility, which basically, instead of charging people 100K to post one of these, which I don't think they do that for all of those, because some of those are just journalistic things. I doubt anybody paid them 100K to talk about the Terra Luna collapse. But some people probably pay 100K for a promotion there. Although, interestingly, none of those are marked as official promotions. So which ones of those are promotions? Like, you should disclose your promotions if you're being paid to talk about something. I'm obviously not being paid to talk about MV3. I think based on what I'm saying so far, they probably pay me not to talk about them. But that's not going to work either. I'm still going to talk about them. Yeah, I mean, I'm finding it hard to see any value to this at the moment. There's a kind of mystery box on your doorstep thing, which will be paid for from whatever revenues this allegedly is getting, which it might be getting lots of revenues. I don't know what the economics of that is. But if it was getting them such huge amounts of revenue, if they were getting 100k every couple of weeks, I would be surprised if they were going to do this, like shunt all those revenues into this metaverse thing. They would just take the revenues and do something else with it. So I doubt that it's that productive, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they are getting lots of revenues there. Don't know. They don't really give us any hints of what the utility will be of this MV3 avatar. Some kind of avatar in some sort of metaverse that they're building. They've shown no real reason for us to believe that they can build a metaverse, of which there are so many already, that they can do it better than anybody else. I'm skeptical. Like, I wouldn't buy this. Doesn't mean that it's a bad purchase. Maybe it's really good. So don't necessarily listen to me, but I find it hard to see the value in this at the moment. And the fact that the Discord is closed and that this is all the information, there's no website. It's, yeah, not great. Does anybody have any comments or questions, things to add, maybe something I've missed? Because I don't see what else to comment on. Like, okay, they're a digital agency and they're capable of developing stuff, but being capable of developing stuff is not the same thing as being able to develop a metaverse, which is, again, something that doesn't exist in a way that, I mean, no, it does exist, actually, that's the thing, and it's not taken over, it's not that important. Like, Second Life, Habbo Hotel, a bunch of other things, Minecraft, but people aren't spending all their time in Minecraft for some reason. Can just look at mint price. If they try and mint for like above 0.5 ETH in this market, they're going to get slain. Yeah, I mean, I think most people who are building stuff like this, like big brand play media, technology, and creative arms with the intent of building great platforms, IP franchise, and content networks, and creative studios and Web3, like all of these at the same time, nice. And a metaverse as well, and some kind of character. Like, how many things are you trying to do at the same time? Like, there's a saying in programming that any complex system that works is invariably found to have evolved from a simple system that worked. So you can't start off saying, I'm going to build this really complex thing and it's going to work. You always start building something simple and then you evolve it, and that's how you do programming well. It's kind of like you've seen the skateboard and car building analogies and stuff, like with the little diagram, product development, skateboard, car. Like, you might have seen this. Like, this is not how you develop. You don't say, we're going to build this gigantic thing. You say, we're going to build this thing, and it's simple and it works, and it's like, something that people want. And then you build that, and then people will say, like, yeah, okay, it's all right. It's like, it works fine, but I'd really like it to have this. And then you add this bit, and then progressively you evolve the product to become something more complicated. If you try to build the big thing right up front, usually you fail. And these guys, if they're running a digital agency, they should know that. And so I don't like the fact that they're pitching this gigantic idea right up front, like they're going to be the next Warner Brothers or something. You don't become the next Warner Brothers by trying to build the next Warner Brothers. You're unlikely to anyway. You go and you build stuff and you progressively evolve and play your cards right and play this long game for like 20 years, 30 years, and then progressively become something really big. Metaverse is just digital identity. It goes all the way back to BBS boards in the 80s or maybe even further back. Yeah. I mean, Ready Player One, which is a dystopia, let's not forget, is pretty far away, I think. I still think, optimistically, it's at least 5 years away. But I think what's 5 years away is wide adoption of augmented reality, which will be really nice and will mean that there's a lot of cool digital items that will be valuable. And then maybe 5 years later, as we become more used to digital items and to having virtual items all around us, maybe we're like, maybe I can just have, be completely in a virtual. I can switch my glasses to show me a completely virtual world instead of just the augmented reality world. I suspect that's about 10 years away at least, and it could be more. We might be waiting until 2081 for that. Hope not. I'd like to see it in my lifetime. It'd be kind of cool. But yeah, okay. So I guess there aren't really any questions about this. There's not much to ask about, unfortunately. I'll put some music on, and then I guess turf. What's turf? Somebody mentions turf on the chat. Turf. Is there a website for this? Turf metaverse? No. I don't know. Anyway. Okay, well, thank you very much for watching this. I hope it has been helpful. If this is a project that you care about and I've completely misjudged it, please note again that I am doing the best I can with the information that's available there, and it's not a fair review of the project. It's a review of what I'm seeing there, and it's a very opinionated review. Like, you know, I have my strong opinions about what works and what doesn't, and I'm probably wrong about some of them, maybe all of them. I'm wrong about a lot of things, and the point of these reviews is to see how my brain is working, how I'm analyzing the project as I go along, and what I'm thinking about and what I'm looking out for, rather than to come to a conclusion about whether the project is good or not. So do bear that in mind if you disagree with any parts of this review. With that said, I hope you have a wonderful day, and don't spend too much time looking at the charts, even though they look pretty awful right now. Yeah, enjoy life. Life is good. Cool. Have a wonderful day. Take care. See you tomorrow.